Hi students, today we are going to begin a new chapter from the unit Diversity in the Living World. And the chapter is Plant Kingdom, and the topics to be covered are classification system, kingdom Plantae, algae, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, angiosperms, plants life cycles and alternation of generation. So you already learned the basics of this chapter in your second chapter, that is biological classifications, where you discussed and studied in detail about the classification proposed by the five kingdom classification proposed by the Whitaker, right? So what is the five kingdom, or what are the five kingdoms? Yes, they are Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. Right? And about Monera, Protista and fungi you learned in detail in your second chapter, that is the biological classification. Right? And today we are going to learn a new chapter, that is a kingdom itself, that is a new chapter, that is plant kingdom or kingdom Plantae. So why we are discussing it separately? Yes, because kingdom Plantae or plant kingdoms includes, we know, a variety of plants, right? A huge group. It's a huge group. So it's not very easy to study them. So we need to subclassify and study them, right? So we are going to study, subclassify, and we are going to make our study about plant kingdom very easy. That's why we are going to discuss about kingdom Plantae separately as a chapter. Okay. So, and about this five kingdom classification, that is the Whitaker that is proposed by Whitaker, and we already learned about this, the basic things about this in our 9th standard in the chapter Diversity in Living Organisms. So you studied the basics over there. So you know what are the main characteristics of plants, right? So what are the main characteristics of plants? Yeah. They are prokaryotes or eukaryotes? Yes, they are eukaryotes, means they have a distinct or well-developed nuclear region or nucleus, and each organelles, that is the specific membrane-bound cell organelles, are present in them. They are unicellular or multicellular? Yeah, they are multicellular, that means made up of multiple cells. They are autotrophic or heterotrophic? That is the main point about our plants, right? They are autotrophs, that means they can prepare their own food. They can prepare their own food, and we know the process, and the process name is what? Yes, photosynthesis. Photo means light, that means the organism prepare food in the presence of light with the help of chlorophyll pigment, right? And the plants, it not only produces food, and it also provide food for others. Yes, those who cannot prepare their own food, they depends upon plants. Yeah, so they provide nutrition to all other organisms also. So, and what is another important difference between plants and animals? Yeah, they are immobile, that means they are stationary. They are confined to a region, right? Their leaves, branches and all move along with the wind, but they are immobile, they are stationary. Yeah, and they can be aquatic, they can be terrestrial, that means land plants and all. And one main difference between plants and animals, cell you study. Do you remember what is the main difference? Yes, the presence of cell wall, where we discussed when we studied about the chapter, the fundamental unit of life, that is the cell, right? That means in the plants, that means the outer cover is the cell wall, which ensures protections to the plant cell. And examples include all the plants like big trees, cactus, aquatic plants, shrubs, grasses, that means a huge varieties of plants. So as it is huge, when we go deeper and deeper to learn about each plants, that means their mode of nutrition, their food, how do they reproduce, their life cycles, it may differ in different plants, right? So they are diverse. For example, if you take a cactus and an aquatic plants, see, some basic features may be similar in both, but when we study them in detail, there are lots of difference, right? So to make our study easy, we are going to classify and make our study easy, right? So first we need to know the classification system, which we are going to discuss now. So the systems of biological classification, three systems are there. One is artificial system, next is natural system, then it is phylogenetic system. So first we will discuss about artificial system. So artificial classification system. So as it is artificial, that means not natural, that is man-made. Yeah. So what is the main basis of this classification? So most ancient type of this is the most ancient type of classification, that is earliest system of classification. And it is been mainly based on the external morphological characters. Yeah, it is been based on the, that is superficial morphological characters and also vegetative characters. Like what is the super morphological characters? Means the color, shape, number of leaves, etc. That means outside view or the outer view are based on the visible characters. Okay, so this system of classification was based on the vegetative characters or the superficial morphological characters. That means based on mainly the visible characters. And one more thing is there in this system of classification, there was a contribution by the Linnaeus, that is Carl Linnaeus, and where it was based on the androecium structure also. Yes, that means visible structure. That androecium means the male reproductive part, that is the stamen. Another name for it is androecium. Gynoecium means for female reproductive part. Okay. And what is the main advantages that we need to know? Advantages as well as the limitation of this type of artificial classification system. So there are advantages like the closely related species could be classified, like lotus and cactus, right? So external appearance, they differ. So such species could be classified. And the limitations or the drawbacks, so they separated the closely related species since they were based on few characteristics. Then equal weightage to vegetative and sexual characteristics. So vegetative characteristics in the sense vegetative part of a plant, like somatic structure of plants, like the root system, root shoot, leaves, etc. Like, and the sexual characteristics, the reproductive structure, that is the in flowering plants, that is the flower, right? So it can be like in the pine trees and all, so there is no flower, no fruit, but there the reproductive structures are the cones. And this vegetative part itself, it can change along with the time, right? It can be more affected by the environment also. So this classification system, it was not a great success, but as it is the ancient one, it helped or it showed the way for further classification. Yes. So the next type of classification is natural classification system. So here it was little more advanced than the artificial classification system. Here they are based on natural affinities among organisms. Okay, and the main basis of the classification is the external and internal features. External and internal features were being considered. Yes, so you can see here the ultrastructure, anatomy, embryology and phytochemistry, all internal as well as external characters were being considered. Okay, and the classification for flowering plants was given by George Bentham and Joseph Dalton Hooker. So who has given the classification of flowering plants. Okay, and there are advantages as well as limitations for this natural classification system also. So but advantages is that it was better than the artificial classification system, as it was considering both the external as well as internal features or the characters, and establishes relationship between organisms. It also establishes relationship between organisms. like more closely related species were being given advantages. Yes, based on similarity. Then limitations means closely related organisms can differ in important properties too. So that can happen in this case also. So sometimes the closely related species, because of some properties, they may be classified differently. Okay, so this is about the natural classification system, where it considers both internal as well as external features. And next, phylogenetic classification systems was mainly based on the evolutionary relationship, right? So what is phylogenetic? So philo means some specific, philo means some specific race or tribe, and genetic means inherited or origin. Okay, so mainly it depends upon the evolutionary history of the, or evolutionary relationship among the organisms, and this assumes that the organisms in the same taxa have a common ancestors. Okay, so this was a phylogenetic classification system was a better classification system compared to the artificial and natural classification system. And what are the main basis of classification? Here one is the evolutionary relationship between organisms, then similarities and similar features of organisms. Then classification was based on the fossil records, but this fossil record itself was not sufficient. So they also depend upon the other sources, like numerical taxonomy, then cytotaxonomy and chemotaxonomy. So depends upon the information from numerical taxonomy, cytotaxonomy and chemotaxonomy. So this helped in phylogenetic classifications. Now we'll see what are these sources. Okay, so numerical taxonomy, so from that word itself, numerical, something related to numbers or maths, right? So it is a mathematical method of classification based on observable characteristics. Okay, so it is carried out using computers. So number and codes are assigned to all characters and data are processed. So number and codes will be provided. So for example, A, B, and organisms are there, A, B. Okay, so there whatever characters are present, according to the allotted number, it will be marked in the system. So at the end, they will be calculating the characters which are common in both. So that is the numerical taxonomy. So numbers are assigned to each characters. Then thus hundreds of characters can be equally considered as it is being done in computer and in the numerical way. Then it is cytotaxonomy. So it is based on cytological informations. So what is cytology? Cytology, like the information from like chromosome number, yeah, then the behavior of the chromosomes, then their structure. So based on that. Then chemotaxonomy, chemo means related to chemical, right? So classification on chemical composition of animals like lignin and all present. So that about chemotaxonomy we will be discussing in detail in the coming videos. Okay, so these are other sources which helped in phylogenetic classification. So this phylogenetic classification, the main advantages is that it tells about the evolutionary history of organisms. So based on all these chemical composition, then chromosome behavior and number of then external and internal characters. So and considering everything together, we get an idea about the evolutionary history of organisms and also able to classify organisms in more efficient way. So phylogenetic system of classification. So plants were classified into many subgroups. Okay, so that we are going to study in detail. So in this lesson we will focus on those subdivisions of plants and groups of plants. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. So thank you.